In this video, we are going to add or subtract fractions with different denominators. So some terminology I'm going to use is least common denominator. The least common denominator of two fractions is just the least common multiple of their denominators. So what are some steps that you want to take to add or subtract fractions? Well, first thing you should ask yourself, do they have common denominators? If they do, you can add or subtract the fractions by adding or subtracting the top and keep that denominator. If not, we have to rewrite the fractions, getting that least common denominator, and then we can move on to step 2. And then you want to simplify as much as possible. So let me show you an example. So we have two fractions. They happen to not have the same denominator. Let's look at how we would go about adding them. So since they don't have a common denominator, the first thing we have to do is rewrite them so that they do. So let's take a look at how we can find that least common denominator. So 30 is 2 times 3 times 5. 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. They already have a 2 in common and a 3 in common, but we need a 2 from the 12 and a 5 from the 30. And so if we look at what that would be, 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 is 60. So the least common multiple of 12 and 30 is 60. So that would be the least common denominator that we want to use. So how could we change these fractions to make a match? Well, all you got to do is you multiply the top and the bottom by that common factor. So if you'll notice that 12, remember we needed that common factor of 5 added in. So we're going to multiply top and bottom by 5. But the 30, to get to 60, we need a 2. So we're going to multiply by 2. And then you'll notice what should happen is that we should get now a common denominator. Both of our denominators are now 60. So now we keep the 60, you add up the tops. 25 plus 14 is 39. Now, the instructions say to simplify if possible. So we want to simplify as much as possible. To do that, we have to see, do they have any common factors in the 39 and the 60? Are they divisible by the same things? Well, think about the fact that 39 is divisible by 3. It's 13 times 3. 60 is divisible by 3. It's 20 times 3. So if we remove that common factor or divide out the common factor of 3 from both of these, we get the final answer is 13 over 20. So there's an example of adding two fractions that have different denominators. Let's take a look at one which we have a little bit more algebra involved. Now it's exactly the same procedure. What are the factors in 15 and in 9? What do they have in common? Won't, don't they? So first, let's make a little chart here. 15 is 3 times 5. 9 is 3 times 3. They have a 3 in common. But 9 throws in an extra 3. 15 throws in a 5. So just multiply 3 times 3 times 5 and get 45. Now, how do you tell if you're right? Well, 15 should divide evenly into 45. It does. 9 should divide evenly into 45. It does. We're going to do the same exact procedure as before. We're going to multiply what we need to turn those denominators into 45. So we need a 3 to multiply by 15. So multiply the top by 3. We need a 5 to change the 9 into a 45, so multiply the top also by 5. So we get 6x over 45 plus 25 over 45 is 6x plus 25 over 45. Now, there's nothing else we can do to that. 6x plus 25 has nothing that is factorable, so that is your final answer. So that is a little bit about how we add or subtract fractions with different denominators. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that helps you understand this a little better. Have a great day.